Alright, now the spoiler-filled review for School Live. Now if you have not seen this anime yet, I highly recommend that you do not watch this video and click this link right here to go check out my spoiler-free review for School Live, because we are going to get into the nit and gritty of this anime. Every single spoiler to be had in this anime will be talked about in this video. So, again, go check out the spoiler-free review if you have not seen this anime yet. But if you have and you don't care about spoilers, welcome! The whole reveal at the end of the first episode that the school is actually run down and decrepit and that the world has seemingly been overrun by zombies was excellently done. I honestly did not see that coming, because honestly it could have been a plethora of things. It could be that they were in a mental institution, or it could be that there's vampires out there and they have to hide out in the school. It could have been many different things, but they decided to take a zombie approach, which I didn't mind that much. I thought it was fine. I like zombie stories, and zombies are kind of the in thing right now, so I thought the twist was really well done. And since we're already in spoiler territory, I guess I'll also talk about the second twist in this anime, and that's the fact that their teacher, Megune, actually dies in the anime, sacrificing her life to protect her students. And Yuki has just been in this perpetual state of denial, almost like a defense mechanism to cope with the whole zombie apocalypse, imagining that Megune is still with them. This is actually one of the key factors as to why I love Megune. She actually sacrificed her life for her students, and you know, she's just a great character all around. But truthfully, that twist took me completely by surprise, because prior to episode 5, we constantly saw Megune with the group. She interacted with them, although only one of them really responded. And that's one of the things that I loved about this twist. There were so many obvious yet also very subtle hints that she was a figment of Yuki's imagination. I just didn't put the pieces together until the reveal came out. Again, an excellent build-up to a great reveal. The anime also gives us some great insight on our characters and their backstories. We learn how they were like before the zombie apocalypse, where they were before the outbreak happens, and how they are coping with this tragedy. One of the saddest, most heartbreaking, and tragic backstories in the entire anime deals with this character, Kurumi, who, during the zombie apocalypse, had to kill the love of her life, her senpai. Could you imagine how she had to deal with that? That in itself was just heartbreaking to see. And though I personally didn't like the character of Yuki and found her really annoying as the series went on, I understood the purpose of her character and why the other characters didn't take her out of her perpetual state of delusion. They did that not only to protect her, but also to help themselves, as she would be the last remaining piece of humanity that they remembered when they were in high school. The fact that she still thinks that they are in high school and makes them do all these fun and zany things keeps their spirits going in this tragedy. And once I figured that out, I kind of disliked Yuki less, but she still really annoyed me. But that doesn't save this anime from its many flaws. As I briefly mentioned in my spoiler-free review, one of the anime's biggest issues was its unbalanced tone shifts. And what I meant by that was the anime shifting from its moe moments to its zombie apocalypse moments. And I personally felt like these two genres just don't mesh well together. You got the moe genre, which is very cutesy, lighthearted, and uplifting, and then you got the zombie apocalypse, which is the exact opposite of that. It's depressing, it's tragic, it's sad, it beats you down. And I just felt like these two just they don't work well together. It's like putting soy sauce on peanut butter. That's not a good combination. It's going to be terrible. Now, I understood the creator's intent. They were trying to make a zombie hybrid anime to help it stand out, like how High School of the Dead is a mix of zombie apocalypse and the ecchi genre, or like how shows like Walking Dead is a mix of drama and the zombie apocalypse, and a movie like Shaun of the Dead is a mix of comedy and zombie apocalypse, kind of help it stand out. But again, it just doesn't mesh well. They both counteract each other. Like when you see a scene that's really overly cute and happy and whimsical, you're like, oh wow, that's cute. But then you see something so tragic and you see the zombies outside, it's really really distracting. Not to mention that the moe elements really overpower all the zombie apocalypse elements. Like sometimes in the anime, I even forget that I'm watching a zombie apocalypse. It could have just been a regular show about a bunch of girls in an abandoned school that survive on their own. And as I think of it now, that probably might have worked better as a show. Like have these girls stuck in a school living by themselves trying to figure out what happened to the outside world, and by the end of the anime they realize that they're either in a zombie apocalypse or something at the same level as that. But I won't take issue on this anime for a missed opportunity like that. And kind of tying in with the whole mix of the moe and zombie genre, the story and concept, as I said in my spoiler-free review, it just wasn't all that compelling. I wasn't really invested into what was going on, and it's really by the numbers. I mean, if you take out the moe elements of the story, it is just about a bunch of girls in a school trying to survive the zombie apocalypse. That is every single zombie apocalypse story in the goddamn book. Not only that, but the story also fails in a lot of areas as a zombie apocalypse story. One of which is that I never really felt like the characters were in any real danger. Like I never was worried for them. I wasn't scared like, oh, are they gonna get out of this situation at all? They kind of seemed really cozy living in that school. And they do explain the reason why they're living such a cozy life, and there's actually a big reveal, and we'll get to that one later. But I just never felt this looming threat. And even when the zombies were there, these are the most passive zombies I've ever seen in an anime. Like, I never was afraid of them. The zombies are just not all that menacing in the story. They don't ever feel like they pose a serious threat to the characters. And that takes away from the suspense of the story. But none of those other elements came close to how aggravating and insulting the last episode of this anime was. The last episode of this anime was actually off to a great start, with each of the characters being in a dire situation. One of the few tense moments of the anime that actually had my eyes glued to the screen. You got Kurumi, who recently just got bitten by a zombie and is struggling to keep her humanity intact while also slowly turning into a zombie. Her best friend, who's going through this moral issue of whether or not to keep her promise to kill her friend immediately if she got bit or not to kill her. She finally decides she can't go through with it. I mean, that is her best friend, and that scene is handled very well. You kind of feel the turmoil and struggle that she is going through. You got Miki, who's like in the basement and she's being attacked by this horde of zombies. She finds shelter on a bookshelf. And then you got Yuku, who finally decides to go do something, gets up and goes straight for the broadcasting room because Megumi told her, hey, you need to go to the broadcasting room. She's being led there. And as she's going there, a horde of zombies start to attack her, but then she gets saved by the dog Tarumaru, who actually is now a zombie now. So it didn't make sense why he would just attack the other zombies first, then attack Yuki. That just didn't make no sense to me. And then when she gets into the broadcasting room, you're wondering, how is she gonna get rid of all these zombies? And you know how she gets rid of all these zombies? She turns on the speakers and says, "Attention, zombies! School is closed now. You can go home. You're free to roam. Go home. You don't have to stay at the school anymore." What? But that is not even the weirdest part of the ending. The weirdest part is that it actually works. The zombies begin leaving the school in drones, heading out into the city like, oh great, they finally said we could leave the school. Come on guys, let's go check out what's in the city. Last I checked, and I'm just verifying here, these are zombies, right? Mindless husk, driven by their innate urge to eat human flesh. Why would they automatically just decide to leave the school after a girl told them they could leave? That makes no sense. They're basically saying that zombies still retain a bit of their human minds, which is not true whatsoever. They are mindless husks. That was just a whole mess of Deus Ex Machina fuckery that made me scratch my head wondering, what? That worked? What? But wait, the Deus Ex Machina douchebaggery isn't over just yet. Oh no. It gets far worse. You know how Kurumi recently got bitten by a zombie and is slowly turning into one? Well, apparently down in the basement, Miki found some medicine that can cure the zombie infection. Now, although it is a prototype, it fucking works. So that brings up a plethora of questions because that medicine has been in there since the beginning of the zombie apocalypse. So that means they've had a cure for a very long time. So when they saw that the zombie apocalypse was happening, why didn't they just manufacture those curable diseases? It would have saved so much time, it would have saved so much heartbreak, and it makes a lot of the incidents that happened prior to this moment pointless. If there has always been a cure, why didn't they just use it to begin with? It just felt, again, like this Deus Ex Machina device that they pulled up to keep Kurumi from dying, and to take away probably one of the most emotional moments in the entire episode. You know how powerful it would have been if they actually followed through and killed one of the main characters? That would have had such an emotional impact on the audience. Now, granted, they do still kill off a character, but they kill off the dog. And it is a bit emotional, but it doesn't have the same weight as if it was Kurumi. If she died, I think that would have been a much more powerful statement. That was kind of a little rant. I needed to vent out a little bit, but you can see where I'm coming from. The last episode breaks the anime. The fact that just saying, hey, you could go home now, you don't have to stay at the school, and it actually works is just ridiculous. And the fact that they actually have a cure for the zombie infection is just mind-blowing. How did they have this cure this whole time, and yet they did nothing with it? It just doesn't add up, guys, and it doesn't make sense on a story level. And that ends my spoiler review for School Life. And I would love to know what you guys thought about this anime after seeing it. Do you agree with all of my points and feel like some of these things just don't make sense and it kind of breaks the anime? Or were you just an uber fan of it? You loved the moe nature, you loved everything about it. And let me know, what is your favorite hybrid anime? Something that mixes two different genres together. Comment below, let me know, and hopefully I'll have a movie review out by tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And until then, guys, if you'd like to see more videos on this channel, be a part of the Black Critic crew, please hit that subscribe button below. Like this video if you really enjoyed it, and I'm Tony Watt in a second, the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.